guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well today. Today I have for you a combo look with Modern Renaissance and Subculture. Whenever I bought Subculture, they said that these were sister palettes, and so I wanted to put that to the test. I know a lot of people have had trouble with this, so I thought maybe in combination we could come up with something beautiful. And so if you'd like to see how I got this look with these two palettes by Anastasia Beverly Hills, please keep watching. What up, YouTube? I hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm going to do another installment of my makeup discovery series, and that's just when I sit down with a bunch of products that either I'm familiar with and have ideas on how to use them differently, or I just want to kind of play around and see what I can come up with various things. So today, I would like to do that very thing with the Modern Renaissance and Subculture palettes by Anastasia Beverly Hills. My opinion about the Subculture palette is, yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are things about it that I don't like, but there are also a lot of things that I do like. And so rather than send it back, I'm going to give it a chance, and I'm going to continue to try to make it work for me. And so that's part of what today's makeup discovery is. But I really am anxious to see what I can do in combination with these two, because I think what this is lacking, this has, and what unique colors this doesn't have, this has. So I think it might be a neat combination. We'll see how it goes and what we come up with. My opinion on this may change, but I'm still going to try to make it work. So I hope you'll come along with me on this confusing little ride that I'm undertaking this morning. So anyways, thanks for being here, and let's get into it. When I was using the Subculture palette, I was kind of confused because there wasn't an overall lid color, and there wasn't really a transition that wasn't kind of a brightish color. I generally like to have an all-over light shade like a vanilla or a cream shade, and a warmer crease shade or transition shade, meaning like a mid-tone brown, is usually what I go for my foundational work. And that was not in the Subculture, but it is very much in the Modern Renaissance. Obviously, I have on my foundation, blush, bronzer, highlighter, eyebrows, and all that jazz. My eyes are also primed with Painterly Paint Pot, and I have set that. I always find that priming and setting your eyelids is a great place to start, and I think that's one thing that would help people with the Subculture palette, because it's so pigmented. If you have a powdery base, not a tacky base to work with, sometimes those colors that are really highly pigmented won't grab in one area and just lock in where you can't blend them out anymore. So I'm going to start off with the Modern Renaissance palette and a no number Morphe brush, but this is like a large fat shader brush. And I'm going to go into the shade Tempera. Still don't know how to say it. And I'm just going to go from lid up underneath my brow all the way, covering this entire surface of my eyelid. And this is just another layer that just kind of sets and prepares the eyelid and kind of evens out the tone of it to where we're kind of starting on an even surface as far as color is concerned. Next, I'm going to take a combination of raw sienna and golden ochre. And that's just going to go into the crease. And this is going to be a transition. I may add another shade to this depending on how this looks once I get the color built up. I'm using a ABH Cosmetics blending brush. It doesn't have a number, it's just called a blender. I didn't show you the colors, it's these two.
Whenever your heart is broken,
light. So I'm liking the way that looks, but I would like it to be a little bit warmer. And there's a wonderful shade here called Burnt Orange. So I'm going to go in with a Morphe M330. It's just a tapered blender, just a little bit smaller than the one that I was using. I'm going to tap off the excess on here because I don't want it to be too obvious, I guess. I kind of want it to blend in with the others. I just want to add a little bit of warmth to what I have here already. If you can't see part of Marley, she's joined us here. So if you hear any random noises, it will be her. She likes to be wherever I am.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find a light in your soul, I'll be there.
I'm going to go ahead. This is a little out of the ordinary for me, but I'm going to go ahead and take Burnt Orange and my E36 from Morphe and go into Burnt Orange and go ahead and put that on my lower lash line. This is just going to subtly define it and kind of match it up with what we've got going on top. Alright, feeling good about that. I think at this point I'm going to go into the Subculture, and I really am wanting to use the shades Axis and Fudge, but I don't know exactly how I want to do that. I don't really want to just put the Axis on the lower lash line because I did that before. I kind of want it to be the star of the show, but I'm a little bit scared of it, to be honest. And Fudge I haven't used yet. It would probably match what I'm wearing better, but I've actually heard people say it's cheesy for you to match your makeup and your nail polish and your clothes. I've always done that, and I think it's cool. So I'm going to continue to do it. But I'm not sure what to do about this situation here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go for it with Axis on the outer corner. But since I'm going to do that, I think I might sheerly put Fudge into the crease just to add some dimension there. So I'm going to grab another blender, kind of a natural bristled fluff. This is a Coastal Scents BRC N06. And I'm going to go into Fudge. I'm going to tap very lightly, and I'm going to tap it off on my wastebasket. And then I'm going to go in. Actually, I'm going to change my mind on the method, and I'm just going to tap on one side of the brush. Tap it off and turn it over. And that way, we're keeping this color right in the actual crease on the upper crease. It's kind of cutting the crease in more of a subtle way. And giving some depth there. I like what that shade did. It didn't really change what we had going on there. It just kind of intensified it a bit. I like that. So do the same thing. Just tap on one side of the brush. Tap it off. And make sure the part with the color is upturned. And go directly into my crease. And I just kind of scoot it across there to define it. And then once I have the color deposited, I go down and around in circles. And a lot of times with this kind of brush, I'll turn it sideways because it kind of blends itself But I like what that shade did. Is that right, Marley? Marley has turned into a grunter. Every time she lays down, she's got a... Ain't that right, baby girl? I'm going to go back in with our very beginning blender and just do some circular motions across the whole thing. Just to make sure that's nice and smooth. It's looking kind of crazy, but it'll all come together. It always does. All right, I'm going to be okay with that. Okay, it's time for Axis, and I'm going to use the brush Morphe M411. It's a really small, tapered, pointed blender. And I'm going to tap in on one side, very soft tap. I'm going to go very slowly with this one and tap it off. And I'm really going to try to build up the color here. I don't want to go in too crazy. And I'm going to start off right here on the outer V. And I'm going to deposit and blend. And yeah, it didn't do much, but not doing much to begin with is better than too much. So I'm just going to keep very lightly adding color and intensifying this, building it up.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there. Never leaving you in the darkness, even when you're out of focus. I will be the light in your life, you'll see it clear. I'll be your inspiration, 'cause I know that you'll do just what you're told. I'll be your hard-earned temptation, 'cause I know that you'll make it on your own.
Okay, so I've really just used this brush to deposit color. I'm going to choose another similar brush, blending fluff brushes. I'm going to choose another one of those. Let's see. BRC N06, another one. Now that I have the color deposited, now I want to softly blend it out. And there's so much pigment there that I don't think I'm going to have to add any more as far as on the upper lid. I'm just going to smooth out. And it kind of comes out to be, and it may be what I have underneath it, but it kind of comes out to be a hunter green rather than a teal. So I may want to intensify that some, but I don't think I do. I think it's looking pretty just the way it is. And add just a little bit to this eye. I feel like I pulled it out a little bit further on that side.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be.
And now I'm going to go back in with my brush that I used to put on the burnt orange. And I think I'm going to go into Roxy here in this palette, in the Subculture. I'm going to do the same thing, tap lightly and tap off. And I'm going to use that to go around the outside here. And just add a little more peachiness here. I think those two colors together look pretty. and just to add some warmth back into this look. You guys know I'm a warm tone girl. Yeah, I like what that added. Before we move on to do the bottom lash line, I'm going to go back with the E36 and I'm going to tap very lightly into Axis, and I'm going to add that to the bottom lash line as well to kind of match it up with the outer V. Pull it up from the lower lash line up into underneath the outer V area. About 2/3 of the way in. And I'm going to take the brush that I put the Roxy on with, and I'm going to blend that out a little. I think I'm pretty much done with the Subculture for now. I'm going to go back into the Modern Renaissance. First, I'm going to go ahead and put a highlight on my brow bone. I'm in the process of washing all my regular brushes, so I'm feeling kind of lost about what I'm using here because these are all my backups. This has no name and no number, so my little orphan brush. I'm going to go into Tempera, and I'm going to go all the way across underneath my brow bone. Just to bring that back to life a little bit. Since I have such a dark look going on, I would really like to have a very bright inner corner and a very shimmery lid. And so for those, I've got two choices here. I've got Vermeer and I have Primavera. They are, one of them is a little bit more golden and another one is a little bit more beige. I think I'm going to go in with the golden. I think it will match what I'm doing better, which is the Primavera. I'm going to go in with my finger first and just put down as much color as I can. Oh, that's going to look really pretty with this. Yeah, I like that choice. Go in with that same no name shader and go into Primavera and just make sure that I have it all really opaque. And I like to go right here on my eyelid because of my hooded lid status. It kind of opens up the eye and makes sure that some of that shimmer is poking out when my eyes are open. So I like that. I like the way that looks. I'm gonna go back in with the blender that I started the Axis with and just make sure I kind of zigzag across that line there. Make sure that those two melt together real seamlessly. Yeah, that's pretty. I like the way that looks. One more time before we move on, I want to take the brush that I was putting the orange shades on with and go back in to Roxy. Tap it off and go around the outside of all of this again. Just to make sure that warmth is peeking out on the top there. And we need to find ourselves an inner corner highlight. And since this is all warm and bright now, dark and bright, I guess, reminds me of that Lord Byron poem, She Walks in Beauty. Like the night of she walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes. I had to memorize that for high school grammar composition class. I remember it, obviously. Okay, I'm really happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and do some eyelash curling and some eyeliner now. So let's go in with our Tarte eyelash curler and get those babies curled up.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there.
So I totally forgot the inner corner highlight that I was talking about. I'm going to go in with the No Name pencil brush and MAC Nylon. I love this color for a really blinding inner corner highlight. Kind of apply that tightly to the tear duct area. I decided to do one more thing. Taking a Morphe M168, which is a tiny little stiffer pencil brush, I'm going to go into Roxy and go right here at the beginning of my lower lash line to meet up with that axis. Yeah, that adds a little color. I was feeling like the axis just kind of starkly ended, and I didn't like that, so all better now. Okay, first I'm going to go in with my Scandaleyes by Rimmel, and it's a flesh tone eyeliner, just to go into my inner rim and brighten that up a little bit. And for liquid liner today, I'm going to do a wing. I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Eye Booster pen.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there. Never leaving you in the darkness, even when you're out of focus. I will be the light in your life, you'll see it clear. I'll be your inspiration, 'cause I know that you'll do just what you're told. I'll be your heart and temptation, 'cause I know that you'll make it on your own.
Okay, that is the finished eye look minus mascara and lashes. I think it turned out pretty, and I like the combination of colors, and I like the combination of the two palettes. So I'm excited that I could make it work. I need to experiment with it a lot more and see what else I can come up with. But for those of you who decided to keep the palette, the Subculture palette, maybe this will give you some ideas on how to use it. For bottom lashes, I'm going to go in with Rimmel Lash Accelerator.
Broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there. Never leaving you in the darkness, even when you're out of focus.
And for the top lashes, starting with Revlon Volume Plus Length Magnified. I'll be preparing for falsies, so I basically just want my top lashes very black and fanned out.
Whenever your heart is broken.
Okay, for lips, I want to go ahead and use something that's a little bit peachy, a little bit nude to go with the eye look. I really always like to go with pink, but I think a peachy or more brownie color will fit this situation a little bit better. So I'm going to use ColourPop Frida, or Frida. Anyways, I can't say it like Coffee Break with Danny, but Frida by ColourPop, which is kind of a peachy brownie nude. And then I'm going to use Essence Lip Liner in Satin Mauve, which is really not that mauve, but we're going to give it a roll for this. I think it'll work.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there.
I like that. A little bit of a darker liner so that the nude isn't so nude. Gonna blend those together. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna go put on some lashes off camera and I will be back to show you the finished look. All right, guys, this is the finished look. Here's a up close and personal. Don't lashes just always make a look so much more dramatic and so much more foo-foo. All right, guys, I'm out of here for now. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, I hope you'll do that before you leave. But until next time, take care and God bless. Bye, guys. If you enjoyed your... I'm holding these like they're my babies. They kind of are my babies.